What's up, Minties? So, today's the day I finally get to make my toilet paper holder. And so I have all my supplies. I have the wood, which you obviously saw that we bought the other day. I have my saw, which is over here, and I also have my safety goggles. I've got my tape measure, pencil, paper. I'm gonna get into this diagram in a couple seconds. I have my finishing nails that go with my nail gun over here. And if you want to know what size these are, this is 16 gauge and they are 1 3/4 in length. So I figured that would be the best length in order to get through this wood. I also have toilet paper. Toilet paper, you need it because you gotta measure to see how big to make the opening for your toilet paper. So let's get into the diagram. So basically I made a diagram. I went ahead and I measured my toilet paper and it was about 5 inches in diameter. And so I have the opening and I know that my wood, the thickness of the wood is 1 inch. So I made each opening 5 by 5, and then I have these 1 inch dividers in the center, plus the outside is 1 inch as well. So the total is 19 inches. So I need my outer frame of my toilet paper holder to be 19 inches by 19 inches. And so once I get that down, I can go ahead and cut the dividers and put them in place. So let's get started. So you can see obviously this piece of wood is really long and I don't have a table yet. One day I will get a table, but as of right now I don't have one. So I'm gonna cut this down into 20-inch pieces. I know I need 19 by 19, but if I give myself a little bit of room for error, then I'll be able to work with this wood a lot easier. So I'm gonna cut it down into 20-inch pieces. Safety first. Oh. It would help if it was plugged in. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut right at the 20-inch mark. It makes it a lot easier to work with the wood. So 3 more times. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I cut some of my wood into some shorter, more manageable pieces. That way I'm not holding a big long board across my saw. And so I'm going to show you my diagram. We're going to do some simple cuts, okay? We're going to just do some straight edge cuts. So now that you're looking at this diagram, you can see that the whole piece needs to be on the outside 19 inches long, right? So we're gonna cut 2 19-inch pieces, and then of course when you subtract the 1 inch that is on the 19-inch side, you're gonna end up with a 17-inch piece for the inside. And guess what? There's 4 of them. So you're gonna cut 1, 2, 3, 4 17-inch pieces, 2 19-inch pieces, and then you're gonna cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5-inch pieces that will go between the 17-inch pieces to make our squares. Alright, I go ahead and I mark the 19-inch mark and I use the saw as a guide just so that I make sure the blade lands on the outside of the pencil mark, but I need my goggles first. we've got all our pieces here. 2 19-inch pieces, 4 17-inch pieces, and 6 5-inch pieces. Now it's time to put it together. All right, y'all, I had to give myself a table because it's not fun working on the floor. So, I'll go ahead and set up my pieces up here. Hands on them. Good. Now I'm gonna make sure to glue the sides before I put the nails in so that it's nice and secure. I need help, guys. This is what happens when your glue is shut for too long. Is it gonna come out? Oh, yeah. There it is. All right, so I'm gonna put the glue on the short sides of the wood. Put it down here. Line it up. Make sure that you're marking this on the back. And don't forget your wood glue. Now, if you have a tiny bit of a gap on the inside, don't worry about it. You can use wood filler to fill that gap. All right, guys. I'm still waiting on this. It's just not happening. I'm gonna call in for reinforcements. There we go. Okay, so now if you get a little bit of glue on it, don't worry about it. We'll wipe it off afterwards. Go ahead and I can even fill the gap with the glue right now. All right, so now I've pretty much lined it up with that little mark that I made. I'm gonna go ahead and put a nail in it. So guys, we're in the final stages of making this box. So with the center pieces, obviously I can't use the nail gun to get them in. So what I'm gonna use is the glue to stabilize them, and I'm gonna use my staple gun on the back part of this frame so that it doesn't show, and it will keep the pieces in place until the glue dries at least. So now that everything is dry, I'm gonna go ahead and use this wood filler to fill in some of these gaps. All right, so I went ahead and I filled all the gaps with the wood filler, and I'm gonna go ahead and sand the top of this so I can smooth it out. So today's the next day. I let it sit and dry. Everything is sanded and it looks great. So I'm gonna get started painting. Alright guys, so the back of my frame here, I went ahead and I stapled it earlier, as you remember, and I glued it, but of course I don't feel that that's strong enough to hold it. After time and time again of pulling toilet paper in and out of this thing, I don't want it to break apart. So I went to the store and I got some L-shaped braces, and I'm gonna put them on the back like this. So when I put them on the back, it's going to be able to add strength to the inner pieces that I wasn't able to nail in. But not only that, don't forget that this part was not able to be nailed into this either. So while I'll have one L brace going this way, I'm going to have another L brace going this way. So that way, all the pieces are absolutely secure. I went ahead and I put in my brackets more at an angle to make sure that these screws are in the center of the wood. Alright, it's pretty secure. It's not going to go anywhere. Now for the X's. I went ahead and I measured one of the openings, and that's how I was able to determine the size of the X. So of course you're gonna cut one long piece, and when I measured it, it was around 7 inches diagonally, but of course you want the X to actually fit through the hole. So you're gonna make it shorter. So I would say go about anywhere from 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch shorter so that it's able to fit inside of the hole. And so I went ahead and I cut it and I measured it to make sure that it could slip through. And how did I determine the other side? So what I did was I measured this piece of wood and I subtracted the width of this part from the final measurement, and that's how I was able to determine how far out these needed to be. Then I divided that final number in half. So you do this measurement minus this width and then divide it in half. And so that's how I was able to find out the other sides of this. So look, once I put it in, I have my X going this way, and then now I have the two other pieces going this way. And so all I have to do is put a brace on it. So I got these braces. They might have smaller ones depending on what store you go to, but you have to at least have 3 holes so that you can screw it into each side plus the center. So this is the only brace I was able to find where I was at, so it's a little bit on the big side, but I'm gonna screw a hole here here, and here, and that way my X will be secure. Don't forget that's the back of the X, so no one's gonna see it. As long as the brace is smaller than the actual X itself, no one's gonna see that brace, and the front will look nice and pretty. You just have to make sure to glue the sides on before you put the brace on. So now that everything is done, the X's are done, I just have to paint my outer frame and my X's, and I'm ready to hang it up.